Just yesterday, the House Oversight Committee voted to recommend charging Bill and Hillary Clinton with criminal contempt of Congress for refusing to testify in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Here's what Representative James Comer said during the meeting.
Today, the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform meets to advance two resolutions recommending that the House of Representatives find former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with duly issued subpoenas. The committee does not take this action lightly, but subpoenas are not mere suggestions. They carry the force of law and require compliance. The Clintons are in a fundamentally different category. They had documented relationships with Epstein and Maxwell, evidenced by numerous photographs, flight log records, wedding invitations, and other materials. Some of these photos can be seen here.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Representative James Comer, but I mean, if you have like a powerful elite, like president tier, and there's a documented relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, well, obviously you gotta haul him in there. Obviously he's gotta testify. Obviously I'm being sarcastic because James Comer says he doesn't do this lightly. I don't know if he does it lightly or heavily, but he's doing it partisanly. They're going after the Clintons so that he can cosplay as if he's doing something, so that he can pretend that he is taking the Epstein files seriously. Because out of all those files and all the elites that have been mentioned, Hillary and Bill are the ones that they want. That's it. Not, the guy who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for decades, the guy who has, in quotes going back decades, made clear that he knew some of what was going on at the very least involving the young girls. No, just the Clintons or whatever. And so it looks pretty ridiculous at this point. There are 9 Democrats that joined Republicans in support of holding Bill Clinton in contempt. 3 Democrats backed holding Hillary Clinton in contempt. This is teeing up votes on the House floor within weeks. It's not done, obviously. Should the full House approve the citations, criminal referrals would go to the Justice Department to prosecute the contempt charges, which can carry penalties including a fine of up to $100,000 and imprisonment for as long as a year. Which, look, on some level, Republicans, they're gonna salivate over the idea of that. Oh my God, we finally get to lock up Bill and Hillary. But I'd be careful what you wish for, because the farther you push this, the more obvious and unavoidable the pointing to Donald Trump becomes. Like, he's in the photos, he's in the documents, he's buddies with Epstein. And he's the one that's covering up the release of the 99% of the documents that have not yet been released. And so, I don't know, it seems fun to lock up your foes, I suppose, but when you do, it makes it kind of unavoidable. What about Donald Trump? Why is he not being hauled in? Now, we will have more on this, but Tehran, this is the first that we're talking about the Epstein thing. I know it's been kind of out of the news recently. And by the way, Bill and Hillary, they were subpoenaed. There is a legal process there. I just also think it's important to acknowledge that this is utterly partisan. That said, what do you make of all this?
Well, it's not the democracy of it all, it's the hypocrisy of it all. It's, if you're gonna start pointing fingers, point fingers at everybody and let me make this clear. I want you to point fingers. I want everybody involved in this conspiracy cover up to be uncovered. Please, I don't care if it's Bill Clinton, Bill Cosby, Bill Murray, Bill Nye, the science guy. It could be Billie Eilish. Let's bring them all to the forefront. If Bill Clinton has an involvement, let's put them on trial, but that includes everybody. Round them all up, let's clear it out. And if that includes President Trump, then it includes President Trump. Let's not look at one side and not the other. This is left wing, right wing, same bird. What's good for the goose is clearly good for the gander. And there has been a lot of gandering.
Take a gander at that. Yeah, by the way, considering Epstein's connections, there's an okay chance he's actually connected to one of the Billies that you mentioned there. There's at least a chance.
Well, hopefully it's not Billie Eilish, because then she would have been a victim. But that's a whole different discussion, okay?
Yeah, she's newer.
That's just lame, yeah.
Bill Murray, he goes
Bill
back
Murray.
I like Bill Murray. But anyway, yeah, and I have been saying for a long time, if Bill Clinton did anything, lock him up. I don't care. I will not lose a second of sleep over that. I actually can't, because I don't sleep anymore because my senior dog whines all night. So I actually don't get to sleep at all. No, I'll be fine with that. But that said, you can't go after them and then be like, oh, and also we shouldn't release any of the other documents. And also we shouldn't go after anyone else who's mentioned the documents. Donald Trump has mentioned literally thousands of times. It just seems ridiculous. Now that said, I wanna move on. Representative Summer Lee has a bone to pick, as an increasing number of people on both sides of the aisle do these days, with Pam Bondi and how she has refused to provide information to Congress. Take a look.
I just want us to speak plainly and lay the facts out what's really happening in this committee. We are 1 week out from Bill and Hillary Clinton, who did not show up for their depositions. 1 week, and we're already having a markup to hold them in contempt. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice has been legally obligated to hand over the full unredacted Epstein files to this committee since August, the same exact subpoena that they are using to hold the Clintons in contempt. And please note that these resolutions are allowing the DOJ to prosecute the Clintons for the exact same things that the DOJ itself is violating. They have handed over 1% of the files and heavily redacted. We are 5 months overdue, Mr. Comer, if you've made no effort to bring in Pam Bondi. So no, the difference is not clear. You have made no effort to demand any answers, to exert any pressure. So with that, Mr. Scheer, I do have an amendment at the desk which would hold Pam Bondi in contempt for non-compliance with the bipartisan subpoena that you issued on August 5th, 2025. I hope that my colleagues will support.
They perhaps predictably did not support it, or at least not nearly enough, and the amendment didn't pass. Although she makes a pretty damn good point. Better point, by the way, the one that I was making, sort of a loose connection to, like, why are you hauling them in when you're not hauling, Donald Trump is. But as she points out, they were legally required to have all these documents released weeks ago at this point. They didn't do it. That is a violation of the law. Not like, hey, I'm a lib and I think they're criminals. No, that's what the law is. And it is, as she points out, the exact same statute that they're using to try to get Bill and Hillary. And so they're not releasing the documents. Pam Bondi's not coming in to explain why they're not releasing the documents. And not only have they not released all of them.
You know what TYT has always been about? Taking on the corrupt, greedy establishment. For us, it's the corporate media. We've been fighting that fight for over 20 years. For the cell phone industry, it's the same story. A handful of massive corporations ripping you off. That's why we're partnering with Noble Mobile. They're the only wireless company with the same mission as ours, to fight back. Their Noble plan offers unlimited data for just $50 a month. But here's the best part. For any data that you don't use, you get cash back. Real money you can spend however you want. Stop letting your unused data pad the pockets of billionaires. With Noble, you take control over your data. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT in our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan.
It has been many, many days since they released any additional documents. They appear to think, as we've alluded to, well, yeah, the Maduro thing happened, and hey, what about Greenland and all that? And Donald Trump said something about credit cards. You guys don't even remember this whole Epstein thing, right? Except that we do remember it. Pepperidge Farms remembers. It's a big scandal. You can't just brush it under the rug or whatever. And I'm glad that Representative Summer Lee is trying to draw as much attention as possible to it. Tehran, what do you make of it?
Well, I think that Pennsylvania's 12th district chose an amazing representative, Summer Lee, coming through once again. Black women try to save America once again. Pam Bondi not coming through is actually just her habit. When it comes to Epstein, I would like to say we're not gonna forget. This was my biggest criticism for the most part during Biden's administration, and it will continue to be so, if not more so now, because not only has the time elapsed, but this was a platform, an administration that ran on, we're gonna release the Epstein file. There's an Epstein file and we're gonna release it. And then it came time to release it and we saw nothing. So go after the Clintons, go after the Trumps, go after whoever you have to. We need to get to the bottom of this, and I don't mean in the Epstein way.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, I'm ready for that. By the way, Ghislaine Maxwell is gonna be testifying soon. Oh, I bet she's gonna be super forthcoming. Oh, she just wants justice, obviously, after everything that she's done or whatever. It's among the many things that are wild to me. I could write a book on it if I actually wrote. It is so wild to me that they were able to, they carted her off to that like better prison or whatever. Nothing was ever done about that. They obviously told her to play ball. It really looks like, actually, Tehran, I haven't gotten your opinion. I believe that a pardon is coming. I think that they're definitely, what do you think? In five days? Oh.
No, pleading the fifth. That's what I think.
Well, she definitely will,
fifth.
yes.
She definitely will plead the fifth. It's the concept of what will happen. She's definitely been playing ball. How do I know that? Because she's still alive. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are going not in this way. I hope there's a tell-all that comes at the end of this, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Honestly, what could happen is she does her little Zoom in testimony or whatever. She pleads the fifth. Some of the Democrats try to ask her tough questions. And then Donald Trump comes afterward and said, look, she's complying with everything. And these damn TDS Democrats are being so mean to her. She needs to be protected. I got to pardon her. I got to let her go or whatever. I don't know. It would be absolutely wild. We'll see if it gets through to any of the Republicans, but I think that it's probably coming.